රැස් විහිදෙන ජීවිතේ.
වතුර ගත්තද? වතුර ගත්තා අපිට ලොකු පිනක් මේ කරලා දුන්න එක අපිට වග්ගඩු අමාරු තියෙන ඇත්තොන්ට හරි සහනයක් කරලා දුන්නා.
මහා විලච්ඡය කඳුරු පිටියටත් ගම් මැද්දෙන් පානීය ජල ව්‍යාපෘතියක්.
Hello there, greetings from Colombo everybody. It's 30 minutes past 12 and this is lunchtime news coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Hassan Shazali. Let's start off with your headlines this afternoon. Road leading to Parliament only for MPs. Public must use alternative routes. Who is Sri Lanka's new Deputy Speaker? A prized formula for fertilizer. Passport services suspended due to system issue. Sri Lankans on the street, one segment in queues, the others in protests. Thailand's gas to reach Sri Lanka in 3 weeks. Onto a story developing in Parliament. Now voting to elect the Parliament's new Deputy Speaker is currently underway. We'll have the latest updates coming in from Parliament. But before that, 2 parliamentarians were nominated for the post of Deputy Speaker. This was Ranjit Siambalapitiya from the government and Imtiaz Bakir Makar from the opposition. Both parties announced their nomination during today's parliamentary sittings this morning.
දැන් නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකවරයෙකු ඡන්දයෙන් පත් කර ගැනීම තෝරාපත් කර ගැනීමයි දැන් ඊළඟට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක්ගේ නමක් නියෝජ්‍ය කතා
We propose Kegal District Parliamentarian Ranjit Siambalapitiya's name for the post of Deputy Speaker.
මාගේ නම මම යෝජනා කරනවා
මම ස්ථිර කරනවා ගරු රංජිත් සියඹලපිටිය මැතිතුමාගේ නම නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායක ධුරය සඳහා.
ගරු රංජිත් සියඹල I second the proposal to nominate Ranjit Siambalapitiya to contest for the post of Deputy Speaker.
වෙනත් නම්
ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂයේ සහයෝගය දෙනවා කිව්ව නිසා
I propose the name of Imtiaz Bakir Makar for the post of Deputy Speaker.
ඉම්තියාස් බාකිර් වාකර් මැතිතුමාගේ නම මම ස්ථිර කරනවා.
වෙනත් මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙකුගේ නම යෝජනා
We will now go for a vote as there are no more nominations. The bill will be run for 5 minutes.
මේ පසුව ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකා මාර්ගයෙන් නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකවරු තෝරාපත් කිරීම පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසින් කළ යුත්තේය. ඊට අනුකූලව බෙදුම් සීනුව විනාඩි 5ක් නාද කරනු ලැබේ. දැන් ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකා නිකුත් කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒ ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකාවේ ඡන්ද පත්‍රිකාවේ දැනට තමන් පත් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මන්ත්‍රීවරයාගේ නම යොදා තමන්ගේ අත්සන සටහන් කළ යුතු බව නැවතත් අවධාරණය කරමු.
Still in Parliament, questions are being raised on whether the government used an Indian credit line to import steel. A heated argument broke out in Parliament when the opposition leader raised questions on this. People took to the streets against the government that is not considerate towards those living in darkness and the rising cost of living. Protests that were taking place in many areas have spiraled into an endless demonstration at Gotagogama, but the government is in slumber. The people's problems continue to persist. By providing tax concessions to the rich, how much did the government lose out on revenue? The person with supposedly 7 brains on your side wasn't able to do a good job.
කොරගන්න ඒන අහගෙන ඉන්නවා සභාවේ ගෞරවය රකින්න නිස්සද්ද වෙන්න මොළ හතමාගේ කරගත්තනේ ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ එනකන් එළියට හොඳ බලන්නේ චීන රජයේ මගින්.
What were the conditions put forward by China when giving Sri Lanka a 10 billion yuan swap facility? The media is reporting that $750 million of a 1 billion Indian credit line for essential goods imports is to be used to import steel. Is that true? What are the companies that will benefit through this? When will the people be able to purchase fuel and gas without having to stand in queues?
නිශ්චිතව අවසන් කර ඉන්ධන හා ගෑස් මන්ත්‍රීවරු ඉඳගන්න සාමාන්‍ය පරිදි ජනතාවට ලබාගත හැකි දිනේ කවදාද? ඩොලර් මිලියන 750කට යකට.
It is completely false that we are going to use $750 million to import steel. The finance ministry issued a statement and clarified that only $40 million has been used to import steel. Therefore, this is a blatant lie. Listen to us when we respond. What sort of a joke is this? We expect to resolve the petrol crisis in a few days, but there is a serious problem over diesel. We can release diesel stocks to filling stations, but if we do that, we will have to increase the duration of power cuts from 3 hours and 20 minutes to about 7 or 8 hours. Therefore, as the government, based on the President's advice, we made a policy decision that since we have to limit power cuts to only about 3 hours and 20 minutes, we will be allocating a considerable amount of diesel stocks for power generation. We made a massive mistake by closing down the Sapugaskanda refinery. We will resume operations at the refinery soon. By this time, the government should have known the damage inflicted upon the economy due to power cuts in the last 6 months. They must respond to this. We have prepared answers in 24 hours. How can we get all this information overnight? There is no switch which we can press to obtain details. Let's go for that option in the future. He has gone to meetings with the IMF without knowing the data relating to the serious crisis in the country. Is there sufficient fertilizer for this season? Will fertilizer be provided free of charge? From Monday onwards, we will provide at least 25 kilos of urea for an acre free of charge. We will provide compensation for farmers. Fertilizer is being sold at high rates. We will introduce a pricing formula and provide subsidies for all types of fertilizer. Now, heavy traffic was reported near Parliament this morning. Police had closed off 2 roads leading to Parliament. They will remain closed today and tomorrow as well. The police said that the decision was made to prevent inconveniences caused to parliamentarians and parliamentary staff. Sri Lanka Police said the roads leading to Parliament from the Diyathawina Junction to the Jayantipura Junction and the Jayantipura Junction to the Kiagnam roundabout will be closed today and tomorrow. Now, police said as byroads could also be affected by traffic congestion, people living in those areas are requested to use alternative routes. Passport services in Sri Lanka were suspended for the 2nd time this week today. All of the services by the Department of Immigration and Immigration were only operational until 12:30 p.m.
The accepting of passport applications for the one-day and normal service at the Department of Immigration and Immigration was suspended following an emergency maintenance in its computer system. This affected the services of the Department of Immigration and Immigration Head Office and all its branches. However, the people visiting the department were completely unaware of this situation. The sight of queues is nothing new to Sri Lanka since the beginning of 2022, and the latest addition to this list is the passport queue. A tense situation was reported at the office of the Department of Immigration and Immigration in Kandy this morning. A similar situation was experienced at the Madhya branch of the Department of Immigration and Immigration.
Now, protests at Golfes demanding the government to resign are running for its 27th day. Let's take a look at the latest visuals coming in from the location.
Since this morning, protesters have demanded solutions to the crises in the country. People from many areas arrived at the protest area since last night. Thirteen youth protesters who were arrested near the parliamentary roundabout yesterday were released on bail last night. They joined the protest at Golfes after being released from court.
Demonstrations at Maina Gogama opposite Temple Trees continued today as well.
The fuel crisis has left people helpless. At filling stations now, people are facing a dilemma. Should they go to work or stay in queues? This is what people have to say. People are suffering, but those in power are enjoying luxurious lives. They are not resigning or governing the country properly. They are silent. They are absolutely useless. They're accused for milk powder, kerosene and cooking gas. They say the economy is collapsing. How can people work when they are in queues? It's no surprise that the economy is crashing. Are we to stay in queue and pump fuel for our vehicles or go to work? They are caught in a dilemma. This is an absolutely useless government. They must be removed. The fuel shortage has left us helpless. We can't carry out our work properly. It has affected our lives. While people continue to stand in queues, authorities began unloading a 40,000 consignment of petrol. The stock reached the country from India last night. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says it will distribute this consignment across the country.
India has sent 440,000 metric tons of fuel to Sri Lanka so far. Ceylon Petroleum Corporation Chairman Sumit Vijay Singh has said Sri Lanka has received $200 million from India. He said this will be used to import fuel. Finance Minister Ali Sabri yesterday told Parliament Sri Lanka has requested for an extra $500 million from India to import fuel. The Indian High Commission in Colombo said more fuel is to be provided to Sri Lanka. India has so far given $500 million to Sri Lanka to import fuel.
While some people continue to stand in queues to purchase fuel, another segment of Sri Lanka's population is in queue to purchase cooking gas. Against such a backdrop, the state-run Litrogas Lanka Limited says that the shipment ordered from Thailand's Siam Gas and Petrochemicals Public Company Limited will reach Sri Lanka by the end of May. Recently, the Sri Lankan Cabinet of Ministers had approved the procurement of LP gas from Siam Gas for a period of 1 year. The chairman of Litrogas Lanka Limited was confident that gas stocks from other suppliers would reach the island in the next 2 weeks. Now, Newsfirst also inquired from LAF's Gas regarding the current gas crisis. Chairman of LAF's Gas, WKH Wagapiti, said LAF's would receive the gas in 5 days. Many trade unions are gearing up for an island-wide Hartal campaign tomorrow. Mariam Gunavijaya took to the streets of Colombo today to find out how public transport services are in operation.
There are reports of a scheduled Hartal for tomorrow, Friday the 6th of May. And a question that a lot of people are asking right now is whether public transport will continue to operate. Will there be strikes across the country? Will there be three-wheelers? Will there be buses, trains? What will be the situation in the country for tomorrow? Let's find out.
Private bus operators in Sri Lanka have decided to step away from operating buses with effect from midnight today. Speaking to Newsfirst, the chairman of the All Ceylon Private Bus Owners Association, Anjana Priyanjit, said that an island-wide bus strike will be in effect from today midnight to tomorrow midnight as a mark of support to the Sri Lankans who are engaging in protests. Chairman of the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association, Gyamunu Vijayratna, said it was decided to step away from operating buses with effect from midnight today. Due to the Hartal to be held tomorrow, island-wide private bus owners have decided to support the protests against the present government.
The Divya Savya program to distribute dry rations among low-income earning families is in its third day today. Food packs are being distributed in the Kilinochchi district today. The program is sponsored by LOLC. 2 teams distributed dry rations among families in need at 8 locations in the Kilinochchi district. The Divya Savya program aims at identifying families in need and providing them with food packs to help them tide over these difficult times. The police organised a rehearsal at the Puldua junction to quell protests. Well, it's 47 minutes past 12 and you're up to date with the latest stories here on News First. Don't forget, we will continue to keep you updated on our website, that's www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Hassan Shazali. Take care and God bless.
වතුර ගත්තා අපිට ලොකු පිනක් මේක මේ කරලා දුන්න එක අපිට වග්ගඩු අමාරු තියෙන ඇත්තොන්ට හරි සහනයක් කරලා දුන්නා.